In this episode of the World Movie League, it's the start of the Group C Round 1 matches, with the first match seeing the Incredible Hulk taking on Guardians of the Galaxy, and in match 2, we see Ant-Man taking on the Avengers.
My name is Buck Skulldone, and you are watching the World Movie League.
Hey, it's me, Commissioner AP, Commissioner of the World Movie League, and welcome back to another episode, ladies and gents. On today's show, some big matches from Group C, Round 1 matches. First up, we've got the Incredible Hulk versus Guardians of the Galaxy. That's going to be a good one. And then, match number 2 is Ant-Man versus the first Avengers movie. That is going to be a juicy one indeed. So, as always on the World Movie League, each match is scored in the following categories. So we have, first of all, it is scored first by best characters, then best movie high scoring moments, like a best favourite scene or a favourite moment within a movie, and then finally desert island movie. There's 3 scoring categories for each match, and the winner of the match goes on to the next round of the World Movie League competition of comic book movies. So, let's get into it. Let's get to match number 1, ladies and gents. So let's take a look at match number 1. Released in 2008, The Incredible Hulk tells the beginnings of super smart science guy Bruce Banner dealing with the impact of his alter ego, the Hulk, a large green humanoid monster with anger issues. The movie's cast features Edward Norton as Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, and William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross. Now let's take a look at the Incredible Hulk's opponent. Released in 2014, Guardians of the Galaxy tells the origins of the Star-Lord-led supergroup of vigilantes set in space as they take on an alien warlord. The film stars Chris Pratt as Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Dave Bautista as Drax, Vin Diesel as Groot, and Bradley Cooper as Rocket. So, The Incredible Hulk, a 2008 release. This was, the second release in the MCU? Such early days of the MCU now. But I watched this movie back, and this movie stars Edward Norton as the Incredible Hulk. It is still canon within the rest of the MCU, but obviously that role then got recast for the Avengers movie because Edward Norton didn't come back for any further appearances as the Hulk. But look, I rewatched it. It's a really good movie for early days MCU. There's definitely, the MCU is definitely transformed, and the movies are much different. I feel the characters feel different. I think just filmmaking has moved forward and moved up a few different levels since these early Marvel movies. But it's a really good incarnation of the Incredible Hulk character, Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner, he's this guy who gets involved in this experiment. It goes wrong, and he turns into the Incredible Hulk, this big green humanoid monster. And he can't control his rage. He has to go and live far away from the ones he loves and stuff. And then he kind of gets brought back into it, trying to resolve his issues as the Hulk, trying to cure himself. And it's a really good movie, and just a good, I don't think we'll ever see another Incredible Hulk movie. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with the rights of the Incredible Hulk character. This is the reason why we've not seen another Incredible Hulk movie since the 2008 release. Maybe that'll change in the future. But apparently it's owned by different owners, certain parts of the character for solo movie rights. It's not owned by Disney, Marvel as such, by the sounds of it. I'm not too sure if it's Paramount still who own the property. But he can feature as a side character or as part of an ensemble cast like the Avengers movies. It's really weird, isn't it? Really did enjoy going back to watch this movie. Now let's take a look at the Incredible Hulk's opponent, Guardians of the Galaxy, 2014 release. We move forward a couple of years now into the MCU. Things have changed up a bit. This is going into a space adventure, a space opera, kind of like a comedy space opera. Kind of a lot of influence, I would say, from the likes of Star Wars in here as well. Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember when this got talked about, or just like first announced, and they released some sort of like concept art for it, and I'd never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy before, and I'm sure a lot of people were in the same boat, and I was like, is this going to be an animated movie? Is it? Because they showed the concept art, and it was like you had a Rocket Raccoon, a raccoon character, and then you had a tree, and I'm like, I honestly don't understand what is this going to be? Is it a cartoon or? And then we see obviously like further down the line we see real people being cast in this movie, and then obviously they end up doing like a CGI characters as well. And this is really, I would say, the first one where you're seeing like real CGI characters who were talking and stuff like that. As far as I'm aware, I suppose you did have like the Incredible Hulk there early days, but like Rocket and Groot, Rocket especially, is such a an important part of the movie, talking a lot as a main central character. But it was the trailers hooked me in straight away with that "Hooked on a Feeling" song by Blue Swede. It's just just such a fun movie. It's I remember watching this at the cinema back when it was released, and I absolutely really enjoyed it. I thought it was amazing. It was just a fresh take, and I spoke about this on another video recently where it kind of broke boundaries. It was a movie within the Marvel universe that kind of offered a new, fresh take on a film, and it gave us something different. Not that like the Iron Mans and the Thors and Captain Americas weren't different, but this going into space, having an ensemble cast of members. Obviously, you had the Avengers, but this ensemble of unknown characters, and they just gelled with me straight away, and it just clicked with me, and I was like, yes, this is a great movie, really great movie, and I had a lot of fun watching it. But anyway, let's get to the scoring of this. The first scoring category of match 1 is Best Character. Best character in this movie. So let's go. I'm going to give you my choice and then give you the winner of Best Character. First of all, let's start off with the Incredible Hulk, first of all. Maybe you're thinking I'm going to go for Bruce Banner, played by Edward Norton. I did like his incarnation of Hulk, but I'm going to go with Tim Roth playing Emil Blonsky, aka The Abomination. He is my favourite character, best character for me in this movie. He is the villain of this movie. Basically, he's like a Marine, a commando, Russian-born but turned English, like brought up in England, this character, obviously because Tim Roth is a British guy. And we get this character who's trying to hunt down the Hulk. He's hired to track him down. His team gets wiped out in the first battle with the Incredible Hulk. And then he's trying to still track him down, and basically they give him the super soldier serum that Hulk had, like a new version of it, and to give him like extra performance, like a performance enhancer drug. And he has it the first shot of it, and it gets like in his spine, and then he's sort of like a guy probably who starts off in his like maybe late 40s, early 50s, and he says like he wishes he could have his brain in his body 10 years ago, and basically that's what they give him. They give him this performance enhancer. He can run like Usain Bolt. He's super quick, he's super strong. But we see him then later on in the movie, he gets another shot of it, and then later on in the movie, he goes to the scientist, Mr. Blue, who is trying to cure the Hulk, and he gets him to give him the actual serum, a sample of the Hulk's like blood, so he can enhance even further. He kind of gets like addicted to the performance enhancers, and he just wants more, and he wants to be stronger. And this is then where he sort of mutates and turns into the Abomination, kind of like an alternate version of the Hulk. And I like Tim Roth, and I know he is returning in the She-Hulk show, and he has featured in the Shang-Chi movie as the Abomination briefly. And it's cool that we're getting him returning now after so long away from the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. But yeah, I thought he was just a fantastic villain, and I think he's got more to offer to the MCU. And looking back, I forgot how good of a villain. It's kind of like they say with like wines, they get better with age, and I feel like this movie, and in particular this villain of Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, the Abomination, really does get better with age, and he is my pick for the Hulk. Now, let's move on to Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy, my favourite character, best character is Drax, played by Dave Bautista, the former WWE superstar. Dave Bautista turned actor, and he's having a pretty good acting career so far. I think he is absolutely fantastic in this role. He's kind of like this stoic warrior who's lost his kid and his wife. They were killed by Ronan, who is like the main villain within this movie. And he starts off, he meets up with the rest of the Guardians in like a prison cell, and he's going to try and kill Gamora. And then this fight stops. And what I like most about Drax is just he's unaware to jokes and everything, and he just takes everything literally. Like, Peter Quill says to Drax, like, we can go and like do this to Ronan, and he's like,
Why would I put my finger down his throat? I'd cut his head clean off.
And he said, no, it's a metaphor for slicing his throat. And he just like he often say like it just goes over his head, and he says like someone calls him a thesaurus, and he's like,
nobody calls me a walking thesaurus.
And it's just so many just things where it just goes over his head, and he just takes things too literal, and it just offers incredible funny moments. And Dave Bautista, what a choice here. Do you know, just out of nowhere choice, really, because this is before he's done more movies now. Incredible bit of casting there for Dave Bautista, and his role is just, it's comedy gold. He's just an absolute, not even trying to be funny. This is the thing. It just kind of reminds me of like Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun, where he's just playing it straight all the time, and the jokes just work around him. And this is the way it works with Drax. And you see it at the end, he uses that finger to throat means death, like at the end when he's killing one of the bad guys, and you just crack up when you're watching it. I absolutely love that performance in Guardians of the Galaxy. So Dave Bautista as Drax is my choice for Guardians, but which one wins? Is it Emil Blonsky, played by Tim Roth, playing the Abomination, or Drax, played by Dave Bautista? I've got to go with the Incredible Hulk, Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, played by Tim Roth. I do really like Drax, but I just think Emil Blonsky is a really fantastic villain, and a kind of like a hidden gem of a villain within the MCU. Now let's move on to the next scoring category. The next scoring category is Best Movie High Scoring Moments. So, Incredible Hulk, first of all, let's start off with this one. My favourite scene in this, favourite moment, is fairly early on in the movie. So, Bruce Banner is living in Brazil, and he's trying to get on with life, and he's also trying to find a cure at the same time. He works in this factory, this bottle-making factory, and then you see Emil Blonsky is sent with his team to try and track him down, and he ends up running away at night, and then they're following him through the streets, and he goes to this factory. But these other factory co-workers who don't like him, who have got a bit of a grudge against Banner, track him down as well, and they're kind of beating him up while in the factory, and then you've got the team all surrounding the factory as well, with Emil Blonsky leading that team, trying to track Banner down. And then he's kind of saying to them, don't stop beating me up. He's like, you don't want to do this, don't do this. And he's got one of these Fitbit type watches on his hand. What he's doing is a heart, blood pressure, or his heartbeat. And if it hits over 150, that's when he turns green. And I just love that. He's kind of just telling him don't do this. You don't want to do this. Something's going to happen. And then you see that first transformation into the Incredible Hulk. His eyes go, and it's great because he's trying to. It starts off in the movie and it says 100 odd days or 70 days before last incident of the transformation of the Incredible Hulk. So he's kind of got it under wraps a bit, and he's trying to keep it at bay. But then when people are attacking him and beating him up, his heartbeat goes up, he gets angry, and that's where he transforms in the Incredible Hulk the first time. Really, really great scene, that one. And now let's go to Guardians of the Galaxy. My favourite scene, best movie high scoring moment in this one. There was a few different ones within Guardians of the Galaxy, but I've got to go with this. The end scene where Quill is distracting. Star-Lord is distracting Ronan by dancing and singing, and then they knock the Infinity Stone out of his staff, It goes in the air. Quill jumps in slow motion to grab it, and then he grabs the Infinity Stone, and then it just like the power of it just takes over his body, and you see this big swirl of like power source around him, and he can't control it. His face is changing, and then you see the rest of the Guardians with this epic soundtrack, epic score going on in the background, come and hold his hand, and they all stand together, all the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Ronan, the villain, is like, how? And then Quill says, because we're the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy. Something like that. That line, just something like that it is. It's such a cool moment, a cool scene within the movie. And then he just puts out his hand and it just like, destroys Ronan. It's a fantastic scene, and it feels like that coming together scene, that like real, power. Like, we are the Guardians of the Galaxy. This is our name. We are Guardians. We're here to protect people from the likes of you, and it's an awesome scene. So, which one wins through? Which one is the best movie high scoring moment for me? I've got to go with the Guardians of the Galaxy scene where they take on Ronan and they, take hold of that Infinity Stone as a team. Such a fantastic scene. Now let's go to the final scoring category of this match one, and we are tied. So whoever wins this round, wins this scoring category, goes through to the next round of the World Movie League. So this round is this final bit of the round one of match one is decided by Desert Island movie. Which movie would I like to go and have on a desert island as the only movie with me? I think for me, this is a fairly easy one. I think Hulk, this is not my choice. First of all, I'll tell you my choice. My choice is Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. It was never going to be Hulk. I think a lot of movies for me would have struggled against Guardians of the Galaxy because I really enjoy that movie. For me, it's entertaining. I have a lot of attachment to that. When I watched it at the cinema, I just thought it was fantastic. I thought the trailers leading up to it were amazing. The opening scene of that movie with Star-Lord doing his dancing, and then when he meets up with the villain for the first time, and then when the Guardians of the Galaxy form in the jail, it's just such a fun movie and such a different movie within the MCU. I really enjoy it. Incredible Hulk is a decent movie, but I don't think it is a top MCU movie. I think it is a really decent movie, and it's not a bad movie. It's not an Iron Man 3. It's a decent movie, but Guardians of the Galaxy is a top tier MCU film for me. And if I was on a desert island, I want that movie because it's got an amazing soundtrack. It's got a really cool bunch of characters, and the story is really good. And for me, it's got like a mix of like Masters of the Universe, Star Wars mixed in there. It's got all this sort of like stuff, the sci-fi that I enjoy, sci-fi, comedy, action, and it is just a breath of fresh air within the MCU. And for me, Guardians of the Galaxy is my desert island movie, and it is the movie that moves on to the next round of the World Movie League. Let's take a look at match number 2. Released in 2015, Ant-Man focuses on Scott Lang, a small-time criminal who discovers a superhero suit that can make him shrink to the size of an ant, but gives him super-powered strength. The movie stars Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, Evangelina Lilly as Hope Van Dyne, Corey Stroll as Darren Cross, aka Yellow Jacket, and Michael Douglas as Hank Pym. Now let's take a look at Ant-Man's opponent. Released in 2012, The Avengers is the first of the MCU's big team-up movies. The first lineup of The Avengers features the characters of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye teaming up to take on the villainous Loki, with notable cast members like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Hemsworth returning to their respective roles. So now we're on to match number 2, the Ant-Man movie versus the first Avengers movie. Ant-Man, let's talk about Ant-Man first of all briefly. Ant-Man was released in 2015, starring Paul Rudd as the main guy, Ant-Man Scott Lang. And it's a heist movie, this one. It's a heist movie. He's like this ex-criminal. He comes out of prison. He can't get a normal job. and he gets pulled into a job of stealing this. Stealing something from a safe, and it turns out the only thing in the safe is the Ant-Man suit, and it's basically Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, sets him up because he wants him to become like the new person who wears the Ant-Man suit for a job he needs to steal the Yellow Jacket. And then the story becomes they got to steal the Yellow Jacket suit because the guy who created that suit is very untrustworthy, basically, and he could cause a lot of damage, the Yellow Jacket character. It really is a fun movie, though. It's a very different movie as well. I love the fact you've got this superhero who can shrink down to the size of an ant, and he can control armies of ants. And then when he is like super small, he's super powerful. It is absolutely fantastic. A really, really fun movie. I think as well, it's just such a different movie than what the rest of the MCU offers. And this is what I like. I love the movies that are very different. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was very much like that. A very different movie from what the rest of the MCU offers. And Ant-Man, for me, is very similar. You know, it's got a very different vibe to it. And it's nice to have that variation from other content within the Marvel films. Now let's move on to the Avengers. The first Avengers movie, released in 2012 now. 10 years ago now. It's absolutely surreal. That's 10 years old now. The first coming together, obviously we got all these solo movies first off. We had like the Thor movie, the Captain America, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, and they all led up to this Avengers movie, this ensemble movie, and it was, you know, it was amazing. It was teased, and it was kind of like the ending of like this phase one, coming up to this big villain, and you got the villain in this is Loki, who is obviously the brother of Thor, and it is just a great ensemble movie, really well done. And what I've always enjoyed about this movie is the fact that every character has the moment in the movie. It doesn't feel like one character leads the way. It feels like, to me, every character has, you know, their part to play in the story. It is a team movie. It's not like Iron Man, Captain America, and the rest of the guys. Every character gets the moment within this movie, and I really enjoy that. So let's get to the scoring categories. As again, it will be, first of all, best characters, then best movie high scoring moment, and then finally desert island movie. So let's start off with best characters. So I'm going to start off with Ant-Man, and I'm going to go with my favourite character within this movie is Lewis, played by Michael Pena. I think this character, he's kind of, you know, he's the comedy relief. He's the friend of Scott Lang. He's a former cellmate of him. Now he's a part of his crew. But the moment you meet him, he's just full of charisma. He's absolutely full of charisma. And I think the way, the moments I really like with this character is when he's kind of describing moments, and he's like describing meeting someone to Scott Lang, and then they do like the voiceover of him voicing other characters, and then you see him, he just like goes off track, and he just talks about something random, and he's like, oh no, sorry, I'm off track. And the first moment he meets Scott Lang out of prison, when he's like picking him up, and Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is kind of like saying, "Oh, how's things? How's things?" And he's like, "Yeah, life's really good. Life's really good." And he says something like, "My mum's died and my girlfriend left me," and he's just like, "Yeah, but things are good." Yeah, and he's just like super optimistic, and he's just just like ultimate comedy relief. And when Scott puts on the Ant-Man suit for Lewis, he's like, "Are you sure you can handle this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can handle anything." And then he shrinks down and he just like freaks out. I think he faints or something, but he's just an absolute hidden gem of a character. And again, an actor I've never seen in anything else before, and watched this for the first time, and he's a great actor, really great actor. I've seen him in other stuff since then. I watched him in, I think it was on what movie did I see him in? I think it was a Dora the Explorer movie. He was in that one. And he was really good in that as well. I think he's a really talented actor. I think he's going to do a lot more in the future, that guy, Michael Pena. Let's move over to the Avengers now. The Avengers, we have some really cracking characters in the Avengers. Obviously, a lot to choose from. My character I'm going to pick, though, is the Incredible Hulk, played by Mark Ruffalo. So if you don't know, for this movie, the role was recast, and obviously talking about the Incredible Hulk earlier. First of all, in the first solo movie, it was played by the Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner was played by Edward Norton. Now, he didn't join up the Avengers movie. I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's just a case he didn't want to do it, or maybe Marvel wanted to go in a different direction. But Mark Ruffalo was recast in the role as Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, and he is absolutely perfect. I was kind of a bit disappointed at first that we weren't getting that continuation of Edward Norton in the role, but Mark Ruffalo, as soon as I watched that, I was like, oh, this guy is amazing. He's just perfect for the role. And I think this is his best performance as Bruce Banner. I think he is great within the movies, but for me, this first performance, he's just very, very quiet at first, and he's trying to just, obviously, he doesn't want to go to the big city. He doesn't want to get into big public spaces because he can, if he turns into the Incredible Hulk, he could destroy cities, like he says in the movie. But they're trying to get him into the Avengers, and also because he's a super scientist as well. But I just think he plays the role really well as Bruce Banner, and then the Incredible Hulk character is great, but him as Banner is amazing. So Mark Ruffalo is my pick for the Avengers, but which one wins? Which is the best character for me? Well, I will say this. My favourite character, my best character, was a tough choice, because I think you got Michael Pena and Mark Ruffalo, two fantastic actors, but I am going to go with the Avengers, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner and the Hulk. He's great. He's just superb in that role, and I think he is a great addition to the MCU. And I've watched him in other movies again since. I watched him in the one with Michael Keaton, where it's like the breaking that news story about the church. That one's really good. And what else have I watched him in? The Magicians movies. Now You See Me. I like him in them movies. I'm forgetting loads of movies now, but he is a really, really good actor, and I think Mark Ruffalo was a great choice for that role. Now let's move on to Best Movie High Scoring Moment. Best Movie High Scoring Moment. Let's start off this time with The Avengers. The Avengers, I'm going to go with a scene in the movie. I could have went for that main scene when you got the Avengers music kicking in for that really momentous moment where it does the camera spin. That would have been my first sort of moment to go to at first, even before watching this movie again. But rewatching this movie, there was a moment that really caught my eye and I kind of forgot about. It's like a scene where it follows every character of the Avengers characters in the battle. They're in the battle, in midst of the Battle of New York with all the aliens. And there's a scene where, you get some music hitting in, some really cool fight music. And then the camera follows each and every character in it's like a one-shot in the air, and just follows them on the ground during these fighting moments. And then maybe it's like a 20 or 30 second scene, but it's so good that it follows every character around the city. And I just think it's such a well-made shot, and it just looks amazing. It highlights how far filmmaking has come on over the past 20, 30, 40 years to have these superheroes and just show them from shot to shot and just folds and pans around to each and every character. And I just love it. I think it's an amazing scene, and I think it's just... I forgot about this scene. I forgot that this was a scene within the movie, because I always just think of certain scenes, but now watching this back, I'm like, this is an incredible scene. Really well made. So that's my scene for the Avengers. Now, for Ant-Man, my favourite scene in Ant-Man has got to be the end battle scene with the train fight, the train battle fight. So it's in his daughter's bedroom, and you see a Thomas the Tank Engine train, and they're having this battle, the two characters, Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man. They're sort of supersized down, and they're having this big train battle, and it's kind of you see it sort of keeps on going out to the actual train, and you just see it feels like they're on a real train, and it's this intense battle when the super sized down, but then you pan out to them actually, and you see the train. It's just this little toy train, but it's just such a very different scene, very different type of battle from other MCU battles, and they're using the strengths of the character of them being able to shrink down to small sizes and do these battles on toys, and it's so much fun, and it makes me laugh. And then when you see the obviously the Thomas the Tank Engine train then becomes supersized within it, it's just such a funny moment. And I really think it's great. I think it's a really entertaining seeing that one. So, which one is my favourite though? Best movie high scoring moment, The Avengers or Ant-Man? I have got to go with... no, sorry. I've got to go with The Avengers. I was going to say Ant-Man. The Avengers scene with the shot with them all, I think it is just a fantastic shot, a fantastic scene, fantastic moment within that movie. I think the Ant-Man scene is really cool, but I've got to go with the Avengers scene. It had to be. It had to be. So that means, obviously, we have Mark Ruffalo winning Best Character in The Avengers. The Avengers shot winning of all the team for Best High Scoring Moment. That the Avengers is going through to the next round of this competition. But let's go to Desert Island Movie. Will it be a clean sweep for the Avengers? Let's go for it. Desert Island Movie, Ant-Man or the Avengers? I will tell you this, it is not a clean sweep for the Avengers. No, no, no. Watching these movies back, I really enjoyed both movies, but I gotta say, Ant-Man has got its merits, and it really is a fun movie. And even though that I give the best characters and the best shot, best high-scoring moment to Avengers, for me, Ant-Man has got a lot to offer, and it is a really entertaining movie. And I think I draw to it more as a Desert Island movie because it's got a really variation. It's a comedy, it's got entertainment, it's got action, and it's very different. And it's just something I can just like sink into this sort of movie because it is so different and it's just so weird at times when he's like going in the ground and he's got these army of ants. There's something about it I just really enjoy, and so Ant-Man is my Desert Island movie. So it doesn't win the clean sweep at Avengers, but the Avengers is going through to the next round of this competition.
Great picks, Commissioner AP. Let's now take a look at those results.
So let's do a quick roundup of the results for today's matches. The first match, Incredible Hulk versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is going through to the next round after winning that match. Next we had Ant-Man versus the Avengers. As you know, the Avengers is the winner of match number 2 today of the World Movie League and is moving on to the next round of the competition. 2 great movies going through, and it feels like, you know, Ant-Man especially is a bit of a disappointment that it's not went through to the next round. But the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, they are really solid picks. And I think they're going to be big ones in this competition. I think they could, you know, one of them could be a potential winner of the World Movie League. I'm saying it right now. You heard it right here. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, you know, future matchups with those movies within the tournament. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the outcome of today's matches. I think they've been pretty decent results.
My name is Buck Skulldone, and I've got to say, there's a dark force looming over the World Movie League. I don't know what it is, but I tell you what, I'm fearful for all the Buckbusters, the Buck Brothers, and the Buck Sisters out there. World Movie League watchers, watch your back. Something's coming.
I am the Mouse Lord. I am the dark, looming threat that Buck Skulldone speaks about. And I am now here in the World Movie League. Here.
If you enjoyed this video today, please do give it a like and check out the rest of the movie-related content on the channel. And let me know your thoughts on today's results of the World Movie League. Do you think the right movies went through to the next round? What would be your picks for today's matchups? Let me know all your thoughts, all your results in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.